Hello, this is Chris Tilley and I'm here with Daniel Krupa and we are doing the Rewind Theatre for Crimson Peak, the new horror film from Guillermo del Toro.
Bit crimson there.
Bit crimson there. And Dan, I believe you've been speaking to Mr. del Toro.
Yeah, so I spoke to him, I interviewed him, and he gave me some little nuggets, little treats about the trailer and the movie in general. So I assume this is the character played by Mia Wasikowska?
Edith Cushing.
Yeah, so Edith Cushing, I think that's an interesting name. I think Edith, del Toro told me he lifted from the American prize-winning novelist Edith Wharton, who was known for like Age of Innocence, but she also wrote loads of ghost stories as a kind of a side career.
Yeah.
And I would think Cushing is probably another reference, Chris.
Yeah, a none too subtle nod to Hammer Horror's Peter Cushing. And that's kind of a tradition in the modern horror directors will put the names of their favourite kind of horror directors and actors in their movies. So I think it's an example of that.
Yeah, because I think, like a lot of del Toro's work, it's a mixture of influences, and you've kind of got that in the name of the character. It's really setting out his style.
Yeah.
And he told me that she likes ghosts. She believes in ghosts. She's fascinated by ghosts. She writes about ghosts.
Okay. A ghost lover.
Nosferatu reference, maybe?
Yeah, I also got a bit of a Francis Ford Coppola's Dracula vibe from this trailer. The music and the kind of very rich colours and gothic imagery.
I've seen them all my life.
So yeah, we've got our first look at another character. There's Mia's character, Edith's character, all grown up.
Yeah.
And she's with Charlie Hunnam, who plays Dr. Alan McMichael.
Yes.
So who, I guess, like a contrast maybe to the Tom Hiddleston character we'll see later on, a man of science.
Yeah.
And they're using some kind of very Victorian-ish technology. You know, again, technology is a slight undercurrent in this trailer, I think.
Yeah. I wonder if we'll see clockwork pieces in this, because Guillermo loves them, doesn't he?
So at the beginning of this trailer, it looks like she's being wooed by the Tom Hiddleston character,
Rather good,
who plays Sir Thomas Sharp.
You see where I come from.
And doesn't he look dashing?
I go on with him.
I understand your fascination with the Sharps.
Edith.
So torn between these two guys, I guess.
Yeah, and so here's another interesting character. This is Thomas Sharp's sister, played by Jessica Chastain, as Lady Lucille Sharp. And obviously the film's called Crimson Peak. You've got the universal title card coloured red, dark red. And something interesting about the ghosts in this movie, they all kind of draw on the colour palette of dark red. And the reason for that, there's an M.R. James unpublished short story where he describes a ghost as kind of being coloured bright pink, and del Toro said that really struck him as interesting. Never seen ghosts depicted like that on the screen. So all the ghosts will have something associated with red, and characters that are specifically linked to the ghosts will also be colour-coded red. And here we've got Jessica Chastain wearing a very nice red frock.
Might any of the characters themselves be ghosts?
This is my sister.
Oh, you're asking the big questions now, Chris.
Yeah.
I feel as if...
So it looks like he successfully woos her and brings her back to, the house, the big house. Allerdale Hall.
That's what you call a country pile.
That's impressive. So it's interesting, it's this kind of ancient ancestral home, and they really draw on that. It's a staple of Gothic literature. The house being, a correlative of the troubled mind, a seat of kind of ancestral guilt, all that sort of stuff. But also, it's really modern. Like if you look around the field, there's these kind of contraptions that Tom Hiddleston's character is building, and del Toro said that Thomas lives in a world that is Victorian and medieval and steeped in ancient crumbling lore, yet he's delivering in modernity. He wants the machine. He wants to build a machine. He wants the future.
So he's torn between the present and the future.
Yeah, and I wonder if
or the past and the future.
Yeah, and obviously ghosts are pretty much frequently used in literature as kind of a manifestation of the past. That's what they are. They're people from the past. They're memories, traumas from the past reaching into the present. So, it's all thematically tied together.
And we're told that this house is pretty much alive as well. That's been alluded to in the trailer and in things that Guillermo has said. So I wonder how real that's going to turn out to be.
Yeah, and it's a very, a very Edgar Allan Poe thing, the house being kind of one and the same with the man. But is it Tom Hiddleston's character or maybe Jessica Chastain's?
Yeah, because it feels like he's being set up as the villain in this trailer. Yeah, but it's probably not as simple as that.
Yeah, or maybe is it something bigger that they're keeping something at bay in this house? They're actually protecting her, bizarrely. Or because they know she likes ghosts that they lured her here. It's very unsure, but obviously that's part of the mystery of the movie.
Sure, and when I spoke to del Toro a while ago about this film, he was talking about the fact that something happens midway through that changes everything, kind of like a twist, and like it changes the rules of what you've been led to believe going along. So you can't really, I've watched this a few times now. I can't really figure what that out might be, but it's interesting.
That's really intriguing. Yeah, because like, I guess like you say, Dracula, especially this bit, this person staying in someone else's house, kind of like Jonathan Harker at the beginning of Dracula, and similar to Dracula, saying every room is open to you except the ones that are locked. Don't go there. And that's kind of the situation she's in there. She's trapped of her own free will.
But equally, Del Toro's also said that the two biggest influences on this story are Jane Eyre and Rebecca.
Yeah.
So two of the great Gothic romances.
Yeah, Gothic romance is a thing that he talked to me about as well. He was talking about Rebecca, also Wuthering Heights, another Bronte novel. And you kind of get onto that in a minute, like, there's going to be sexual scenes in this. That's, lust. It's not just out and out horror. It's Gothic romance.
He's called it his kinky movie.
Yeah, well, it looks very kind of Heathcliff.
I wonder if something bad's going to happen there with the glove coming on, because also there's some scares in this trailer, but there's no real violence. But he also has said that this film features 3 of the most violent scenes he's ever put on film.
That's something to look forward to then. Yeah, there's something very almost Byronic about Hiddleston's character as well. What are these vats as well? There's something quite beautiful about that as well. They're kind of petals falling, or is it snow? But what they're actually falling on is really sinister.
Yeah.
And it looks like from the next shot that something's trapped inside those vats.
God, it's like each frame is like a painting, isn't it?
This is very Wuthering Heights. Very carnal.
It's getting hot in here, Dan.
House as
Yeah.
old as this one becomes in time a living
Death,
So this
decay.
This thing about the house being kind of a place of decay, a living thing, like, it's very interesting. It becomes more organic and becomes a character in the film itself.
It starts holding on to things. Some of them good.
There's coming back to the red and crimson that you spoke of before.
Lots and lots of blood towards the end, it looks like.
Some are bad. Some should never be spoken
You
of.
get to see the ghost. So
This is making me think a bit Haunted Mansion. We
Yeah.
know that Del Toro's a big fan and is trying to get a Haunted Mansion movie off the ground, but I feel like this could be straight from the Disney ride.
Definitely. And he said, these aren't just CGI ghosts. He had an actor on set all the time. He wanted his actors playing off against another actor.
Interesting.
And then in post, they basically added translucence and things like that just to give them a touch of ethereality.
That's a surprising.
About again.
Which I think is a really cool way of doing it. Again, look at the red that's kind of
Yeah.
colouring the cinematography. The ghost is near.
What do you want?
So there we are. We're getting to the end of the trailer, and this film comes out at the end of the year, does it not, Dan?
Yes, in October.
So thanks for watching, and keep it right here on IGN for all your horror needs.